Thank you, Tzul. Our next panel will discuss one of the major challenges that we've faced after October 7th, and that is anti-Semitism on U.S. campuses. Or rather, to be more accurate, one of the major overlooked challenges in recent years that we saw erupting on full scale after October 7th. I'll let the panel decide how to unpack this topic. And to moderate the conversation, first I would like to invite Ariella Noveck, broadcast journalist and co-founder of Bottom Line Media and Shield Communications PR. Ariella will be joined by Gabriel Groisman, founder of Groisman LLC and former mayor of Bal Harbour. And Ilan Sinelnikov, president and founder of Students Supporting Israel. Did I butcher it, Ilan? Sinelnikov.
More Russian. More Russian. Money's coming later.
We'll wait for the rest of our cheers. That's okay. Anyway, thank you all for joining me today. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. Firstly, Gabe, we go a little way back here in terms of the media warfare, your videos that you've been creating and your network that you've created in terms of creating all the videos that you've done and interviews that you've done most recently. Can you discuss, firstly, your endeavor that you're doing with your videos? Your mic.
There we go. Maybe I was better with the mic off. So thanks for the question. Look, I think we have a huge challenge when it comes to media narratives. And when we've seen since October 7th, but really even before then, October 7th, I think Ariella just highlighted how bad the situation is, where just getting plain truths out there is impossible. When the left, in general now, doesn't talk about objective truths. They talk about your truth and my truth, which is absolutely nonsense, of course, because truth is objective, right? Everybody can have their own experiences or perspective, but truth is supposed to be the bedrock principle. And when you're talking about free speech, you also need to have free markets of ideas. So the concept with my podcast that I started, we're hitting 100 episodes actually next week or the week after, was to actually have political discussions with political leaders in the US and in Israel and just try to get some real information out there. I'm not trying to be Pierce Morgan and challenge folks, but really just have serious substantive discussions about the important issues so at least we can start getting that information out there.
Well, thank you. Now, given your work with and your role with students that you're working with every day, I also work with students in a different capacity in terms of within media. And now, what is the most practical and actionable steps students can take now to take their narrative back, educate those around them, their peers, and push back against the distortion of anti-Semitism? How do you advise them?
That's
I know that's a loaded
big
one.
question to unpack, but basically, to be practical, the biggest challenge on campus, it's an organization called Students for Justice in Palestine that I'm sure many of you heard. They started in the 90s at UC Berkeley, and today they have about 300 registered student clubs. Students Supporting Israel, we started in 2012 at the University of Minnesota with about 115 registered student clubs across the country. So to the question, what's the most practical step, and to bring it down from theory to practice, first, Zionist students need to be not afraid or not ashamed of their Zionism. They need to go into the university and register a pro-Israel student club on their campus. As soon as that club is being registered, the first step should be to get out there into the student union, into the freshman dorms, into the libraries, and start tabling with the Israeli flag in front of them, with talking to students about Israel, changing those conversations in hearts and minds, and then taking that action from becoming an activist that has the passion but doesn't necessarily has the how, from an activist to a community organizer, from hosting a protest and demonstration to running the student government and winning the student government elections, just like here at Florida Atlantic University, where our SSI president is also the FAU representative of Tallahassee to the state capitol.
Can I just interject with something? First, I want to say about Ilan and Students Supporting Israel, SSI, one of the best Jewish groups on college campuses today.
Thank you.
And I'll tell you why. I'm not affiliated with them or anything, but I can tell you why. Because most Jewish organizations today in college campuses, what they try to do is to equivocate and to reduce Judaism and Zionism down to nothing. the bisli and falafel to try to not offend people. But SSI doesn't take that approach. They take a strong and principled approach. And I'll share, I know it's out of turn, but yesterday I got a phone call from a parent of a student at New York University at NYU who is pro-Israel and actually has been pretty quiet about it because she doesn't want to offend anybody in her school. There's a concerted effort happening to this student every day that the anti-Israel, anti-Semitic crowd is going around to every person she associates with, every professor, every student, every club member, etc., saying, don't associate yourself with this girl. She's a dirty Zionist. And she doesn't know what to do, and I'm giving advice to the clients. And part of
Join SSI.
Part of it is to find circles like
That's where we're
SSI,
going.
which I mentioned yesterday to this little girl's father.
Now, we attended Kufi, Christians Unite for Israel, and I also just got back on Friday from attending the largest delegation of over 1,000 pastors and educators in Israel of non-Jewish people, that I was actually the token Jew in the room, which was interesting in Israel. Anyway, how important do you feel that it is to engage with people that are outside of, the Jewish world and outside of what, our education system is, et cetera?
Just quickly, I just got back with the Combat Antisemitism movement. I think Lisa Katz is here. We hosted almost 200 mayors from around the country on a conference against anti-Semitism. To do it effectively, we partnered with the African American Mayors Association. We had African American mayors from across the United States. You can guess what most of their political affiliation is. It's not the political affiliation that is generally pro-Israel. But the idea is to engage. It's important to strengthen our own community, but it's critical to get outside of our community. By the way, not just to our allies like the evangelicals, but we should do that, but also to people who don't agree with us, to have hard discussions and to build real relationships, because if we don't do that, we don't have a chance.
And now, Ilan, yes,
if I may add on the same topic, we know that there's more college students in America than Jewish people in the entire world. About a year ago, we rolled out an SSI campaign called Breaking Bread, in which we have our students supporting Israel activists approaching Christian students on the college campuses together for a first-time conversation to try to build those bridges. We see that even within the Christian community nowadays, there's so many voices that call to boycott Israel or to cut aid to Israel. And we need to make sure that we penetrate those communities and create those allyships before they turn against Israel. So with our Breaking Bread program, with us approaching not just the Christian communities, but the Hindus, the Chinese Students Association, looking east and not into the traditional players on the college campuses, that's how we can try to bring those students into our side and make sure that we change those conversations and not just one day waking up saying that the whole world is against us, which already feels like it, but it's not necessarily the reflection on the ground.
Any upcoming events or happenings within either your work with CAM that's coming up or within the work that you're doing with students that you wanted to discuss, or something that you just held as well?
Well, first of all, we have our national conference in Florida Atlantic University with 130 student leaders flying from all over across North America to FAU soon to bring them to probably the most pro-Israel campus nowadays in the country. And a big project that we're working on, for example, I'm not sure how many of you saw a video from Toronto Metropolitan University where IDF soldiers was physically, his arm hurt because of pro-Palestinians, Hamas supporters stormed into the classroom. We're bringing IDF soldiers to the campuses. This is the biggest punch in the face that groups like SJP can see. When you bring those IDF soldiers proudly to share their truths and what they have witnessed on the ground, we just hosted them this semester alone on 37 universities. We'll keep bringing IDF soldiers to our campuses to share their truths, because IDF soldiers are always and forever welcomed on every single college campus across North America. This is their badge of honor.
So I don't have I have lots of events. It's nonstop, right? It's a ongoing endeavor. But what I did want to mention, which you didn't ask, but I'm going to do it anyways, is I focus a lot of my professional efforts when it comes to government and politics. And I think that the political arena is an arena that all Jews need to play in today. Many Jews are uncomfortable playing in that arena. We say, look, we shouldn't make things a partisan issue. We are right now at an existential moment for American Jewry. Before October 7th, we had a crisis of apathy with over 50% of Jews in the United States not caring at all about their Judaism, not being connected at all to Israel. If you don't believe me, look up the Pew Research polls that come out every single year. We were fighting with one hand tied behind our back, and we got punched in the face on October 7th. And since then, the political landscape has gotten more and more difficult for us. To speak totally candidly, the Democratic Party has left the pro-Israel community and in large part the Jewish community. But I said today, I was quoted this morning in the Jerusalem Post on this, it turns out that American politics is the free market system. So if you believe in democratic politics and you want to vote for Democrats, it's amazing, you should. But the people need to pay a price for these positions. Don't support candidates that don't support you. Whether it's a wrong party that you don't like, it doesn't matter. This isn't the time for secondary issues. This is time to make sure we can ensure our future for Jewish Americans. I take no pride in making that statement about the Democratic Party. On the Republican side, right now the party is great, but you can look at the voices around conservative media, and it's horrible, and in conservative circles, and it's our job to put up a brick wall that cannot be penetrated, to not allow them to get into politics on the Republican side. All hands need to be on deck. I know it's an uncomfortable conversation. Sir, people will complain that I said this or that. It doesn't matter. Those conversations need to be had, and all Jews, there's not many of us, 6 million in the United States, all of us need to get involved in U.S. politics today.
If I may add, I tell our students that while the war on the paper ended in Israel, in America the war is just starting because Mamdani is the first one out of thousands of Mamdanis out there. And we need to make sure that young students go into those politics, running for elections, get involved, because this is the hill to die on. And if not now, then never. We must win this fight. And join us aside if you have grandkids or children.
Thank you so much.